the memes.
I did rage quit, and I need to get back to it. You pussy. Finish the game.
It is absolutely an anime trope, and it's so commonly used that I called that was going to happen.
Are you 12 years old? Do you love anime? Are you interested in cyborg ninjas, sexy robots, killer wolf mechs, and slicing a giant Metal Gear mech in half with a single blade stroke while listening to Rules of Nature? Then I have a game for you, boys. Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance is a 2013 hack and slash video game by Konami, developed by Platinum Games, creator of Bayonetta. And I know the other two hosts on here, there's a lot of flaws with this game. People are going to bring up flaws, but before we get into the flaws of this game, I just want to say, like the what's going on screen right now, this game is all about the spectacle. If there's anything that this game does really well, it's the spectacle. And there are so many badass moments in the first 15 minutes of this game. And throughout the game, you know, you're jumping from missile to missile as it's being fired at you. You're running vertically down a huge tower as it's collapsing. You're blade to blade with a city-sized Metal Gear, which you then throw into the air, all while a badass soundtrack is playing. So we're going to talk about the flaws in this game, and there are many, but you can't deny the spectacle in this game is 10 times what you get to do in a lot of games, and that's pretty cool. So, Sneed, first give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down and give me your high-level thoughts on Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance.
Let's see, that's hard. It's hard to just thumbs up, thumbs down this one. It has okay, so I'll explain, but I think I'm gonna have to overall go thumbs up, which might surprise you guys.
Wow.
Because I've been bitching about it while we've been playing. I got absolutely filtered by this game. The second monsoon fight made me rage quit permanently. But there's like, I'm very new to this genre. I've never really played a like Bayonetta game. I don't really have much of any experience in like Devil May Cry. Like, this is a genre that's very like new to me, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
But so I'm trying to be a little bit more graceful with like my gameplay criticisms. I'll still list them, but you can take some of them with a grain of salt. But there are some things about this game that are absolutely excellent. Like, the style and flair are just off the fucking charts. I think the characters, namely the villains, are all pretty cool and interesting, except for maybe like Monsoon and Mistral.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we just saw like Armstrong. Armstrong has, as the kids would call, aura for sure. This game has a great soundtrack. It looks exceptional for a, 2013 PS3 game?
Yep.
So there's a lot to like here, but I really did struggle with the gameplay. But overall, I'm going to go thumbs up.
Yep. Oh, and here's of course beaten cheeks from our Discord. I did rage quit, and I need to get back to it. You pussy, finish the game. Actually, I'm just kidding. I didn't even finish the game. I didn't beat it. I got to the last boss, and I got filtered.
Am I the only one that beat the game?
Dude, you're the only one who beat. Guys, I am not used to. I think none of us are used to like Bayonetta style combat. And I got fucking ranked by this game, and I got all the way up to the last boss, and he was so hard that I just gave up. But okay, Trice, thumbs up or thumbs down, and high level thoughts.
High level thoughts. Wow. Okay. Thumbs down for me. Yeah, I didn't love it. It's okay. It has, but that's only because you're giving me like a 50-50 shot here. Like I have to pick one or the other. If it were me, I would say I would recommend this game to a certain type of person. I'm just not that person. And
what kind of person would play this game?
I think people who are really into like parry slop. Because this
parry slop,
games that are based solely on a parry mechanic. Because that's,
do you like the Dark Souls games?
They're all right.
Okay, so you don't like games with a big strong parry mechanic.
No, I don't like it because it forces you into one play style, and it's not a play style I enjoy. I prefer games where I can attack offensively and feel like I'm dictating combat. And those games are a lot about sort of defensively waiting and picking your spots. And yeah, I know it's skillful, A lot of people enjoy that sort of hyper skilled combat, but for me it's tedium. And yeah, it just, like I got through this game, so I'm not the biggest piece of shit in the world, even though I thought I was when I was playing it. But
I feel like you find, no matter what game we play, you find something to rage about. Like Far Cry 5, there was like an optional thing you didn't even have to do that you were raging over. And you were just like, oh, I'm so pissed at these parachute missions. And I was like, dude, you don't even have to do the parachute missions.
Dude, Ubi put it in the game. I got to do it.
Right.
What did he rage about with Onimusha? I mean, was it being like horrible with the bow?
No, because he knew that game, because he picked that game.
Yeah, I did select that game. So, I mean, I had no complaints about Onimusha.
Wait, hold on. So you played that game before your gameplay with that we saw with the bow? That wasn't your first attempt at that?
I played that game once 20 some years ago, dude.
I wish I would have roasted you harder for that now that I know that.
Well, dude, we're in an open forum now. Have at it.
I'm sad.
Dude, I'm a shitter. I can't help it. All right. I'm not very.
You did beat this game though. I can't say that for myself.
That's true. Yeah. I got 2 people clowning on my gameplay. Where are your gameplay videos? I'd love to see one of your monsoon fights.
Yeah. We want to see Sneed get filtered by monsoon.
The funniest part is like the first time I fought monsoon, like I beat him on my second try, but that first loss was so fucking annoying. It made me rage quit for like 2 days.
Oh yeah. No, I dude. Yeah. Now
the second attempt though, or like the second encounter when you use like a AI or whatever, like that one I died to 3 times. And it was just like really annoying because like Mistral is like super easy, but I hated that I had to keep fighting Mistral over and over again to fight Monsoon again.
Oh yeah.
Dude, and you gotta admit, so as repetitive as it got, the blade mode, no other game does that. It does get repetitive, but it's pretty cool to like freeze in front of an enemy and then just go with your blade and just literally cut them into pieces. Like, what other game lets you do that?
Well, not with a sword, but it kind of reminded me of VATS. I mean, there's other games that have similar time stop mechanics where, you can shoot weak points and stuff like that. So yeah, it definitely was cool. I mean, I did feel like I was playing Fruit Ninja. I
think what's cool about this is like, VATS is like pretty automatic. You just select your targets and then, hit confirm and like let it play out.
Right.
But, like this is like completely like manual and freeform, which I think is really neat.
That's true. But you do have to weaken the areas that you want to cut off before you go into that mode anyway. So, I mean, you have to, it's not like you can just walk up to something and ribbon it real quick.
Yeah. And dude, I feel like okay, so look at the cutting mechanic in this game is fucking peak. Like I feel like Western developers keep saying that they can't do this shit, and a Japanese developer was just like, "Oh yeah, no, we totally did it." Like, what I mean?
The destructible environment stuff is pretty cool. Yeah, I mean the fact that you can just chop shit up.
And it falls like cool. Realistically. It's like, why don't more? I mean, this game's like 13 years old. Why don't we have that in more games now? You know
what? One game did something similar to that that I thought was really cool was Wolfenstein: The New Order did that. If you remember, like that cutting tool you'd get to like open up
the Jew game
shit. Yeah,
the Jew game. Yeah. Fight for the Jews. Well. Literally fight for the Jews game. It was a good game. It's a super good game though, which sucks that it's a fight for the Jews game.
The story sucks. The gameplay is good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I guess back to my overview. I'll give some quick like thumbs up, thumbs down. So thumbs up on the aura and the villains, and thumbs down on the story. And I felt like stuff you were doing in cinematics you can't do in the game, and I'm like you're running on walls and I'm having trouble like navigating like a 2D platform area, and it's like, what's going on here? So I mean, I feel like the game wanted to be a bunch of stuff. Like it's cooler in the cinematics than it is in the actual like level traversal, and that's kind of a problem, I think, for me anyway. Like,
no, I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
There were so many awesome things you could do in the boss fights, like the one that's showing right now, like the big like Metal Gear. you know, like you're saying, like you're like running down like that big tower that you currently see in the background. And
Right.
I remember like fighting helicopters and like jumping on like the missiles to like get onto
Right.
them
Yeah.
and like slash them. Like that shit is super cool.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
later in the game they make you take the stairs, and it's like, what? Why am I taking the fucking stairs? I can run on walls.
Right.
You know,
That's a good point. That's a good point.
There was stuff like that that just, you know, it
Some
basically
inconsistencies.
Yeah, it broke my immersion.
Right.
So,
It's sort of like oh, you can do this in the cinematic as a quick time event, but you can't. But like, why can't I do it as gameplay? That would be way cooler if this was all gameplay.
yeah, and it would have taken sort of, you know, like it would have taken design to make that happen, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To where you can design levels that that you can use the verticality that you show in the like this. Like I'm jumping from missile to missile at great distance, you know, and then
but you're just holding a button. You're not doing it. Yeah.
right. But then, you know, it's like I try to jump a platform from one platform to another with a gap that's like the length of my character. And
It's very linear.
I'm falling.
But by the way, do y'all know what Japanese character comes up on screen right there during these slashing moments?
No, I do not.
The Japanese character is slashing.
Okay.
So
I figured.
Yeah, I just thought it was funny. It looks so badass. I was like, oh, there's some badass Japanese character, and instead it's just like slashing. Now is the time to slash.
That's yeah. I mean, it's on the nose, but it works.
Yeah. Okay. This is random. Towards the end of the game, I think it was Jetstream Sam, the samurai guy, and then the same thing happened with Senator Anderson. There was this whole, and I'm curious. You guys watch more anime than I do, and I felt like this game had a very like anime story. But is this a common anime trope to say you're my enemy, but if you beat me, you're my friend now because I really want like the best man to win. And now that you've conquered me, like you're my friend because the best man won. You know, like that was kind of how the Jetstream Sam thing ended and how the Senator Armstrong fight ended. It was almost like they ended it as friends because they were saying like, oh, well, the best man won. Is that like an anime? Is that an anime thing, or is that just like?
I definitely see that in anime quite a bit. I don't know if it's some part of like Japanese honor culture or something, but it's definitely prevalent.
It's the rival trope. That is, well, it's not a trope. I mean, it's almost what you would consider like a cultural value for them. Like they value having a rival because they feel that having a rival pushes you further ahead, right? So. Right. Having somebody who's on your level trying to do the same thing that you are doing will make you both better. So it's like the old, what is it? Steel sharpens steel.
Right.
So that's like a cultural value in Japan. So that does play out in a lot of anime. There was something in this that was a definite anime trope. The first encounter with Sam where he's talking about your sword and how your sword, you know, like
it wants to bathe in blood.
Yeah, and I've seen that exact exchange in several anime. So most recently, oh man, what was it called? It'll come to me.
I think he said you're denying your sword's true purpose or something.
Yes, and that's a common trope that you'll see in anime where one master swordsman is telling another that basically they're not embracing the nature of their sword.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, let me just do a couple more intro things, and then we'll get to more questions from these guys or things that they want to talk about. But so first off, this is not a mainline Metal Gear game. It was originally started at Kojima Productions, and they abandoned it mid-game. I think they got as far as this sort of like fruit ninja mechanic, and Kojima was like, you know, he didn't go further with it any forward. And Platinum Games independently reached out to Kojima and said, hey, what happened with that game you were making? And Kojima was like, we quit making it. Do you guys want to pick it up? And Platinum, if you're not familiar with Platinum Games, they did Bayonetta and a lot of these hack and slash games. And there's also did anybody play the Platinum Games, the Transformers Platinum game?
No, but they did make Star Fox Zero. I did play that. Obviously, a very different type of game, though.
That's so random. Is it a melee game?
No, it's like a traditional Star Fox game, and not a particularly good one.
Okay.
Sadly.
Yeah. But yeah, Platinum, I kind of respect it when developers do this. Like Platinum has a kind of game that they always make. And whether it's Transformers, whether it's Metal Gear, whatever the topic, they kind of apply their ethos to whatever subject matter they have. Another thing that might have competed with this game was Last of Us came out. So this game came out in February 2013, and then Last of Us came out in June of 2013. And so sometimes, a lot of games that came around when GTA 5 launched did not do well. So sometimes it's just competition with a lot of other games. But kind of getting in, I just wanted to lay down a base story summary for people maybe you don't know anything about this game. So Metal Gear Rising Revengeance follows Raiden, a cyborg ninja working for a private military company who hunts down the PMC Desperado after they assassinate a politician and threaten global stability. Along the way, Raiden confronts his violent past as Jack the Ripper and discovers a conspiracy involving child soldiers, war profiteering, and Senator Armstrong's plan to reshape society through conflict. In the end, Raiden defeats Armstrong and chooses to embrace his identity as a warrior on his own terms. And Raiden was the main character of Metal Gear Solid 2, although he wasn't a cyborg yet at that time, but he was a child soldier in that game. And so that's why there's so many like child soldier references in this game. Something I noticed in the story at the beginning was when Sundowner says Africa has become far too peaceful, and that's a hint, to the rest of the game, how everything sort of hinges on the war economy. It's all about these. What were the names of the guys? The Wings. What was the squad of these guys called? The bad guys? Wings of Destruction or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Anyway, they're all about keeping the war economy alive to make money. And over the course of the game, you go through these boss fights, and each boss has sort of a different psychology. Monsoon tells Raiden, "You're a product of your past, and you cannot escape what you are." And Raiden says that his past shaped me. My past shaped me, but it doesn't control me. Sundowner was a pretty uninteresting of all the villains. He just essentially liked war, and he wasn't pretending to have ideals, and he wanted to do a war because it was giving him money.
Terrible name, by the way. Sundowner.
Sundowner. Yeah.
I mean, that's what Joe Biden is. Like, why would you nickname a character Sundowner? That's somebody who gets demented as the sun goes down. Like, not in a good way,
Yeah. So Sam was a Brazilian on the screen here. Sam explains that he once believed that he could change the world, and instead Armstrong convinced him that the world cannot be fixed, only dominated. So Sam now wants to see whether Raiden truly has stronger convictions, and their duel at the end of the game isn't about hatred, it's about proving whose philosophy deserves to survive. Raiden wins, but Sam dies smiling, and because he finally found someone worthy to surpass him. And at the end, there's a sequence where he goes to Mexico and he wears this ridiculous sombrero for no reason. Like, don't you just love when Japanese developers throw random shit in because it's cool like that?
Yeah,
they had like some like humor moments like that. There was
right.
for like the parts of the game that I didn't get to myself, I watched. That's why I tried to ask you for your gameplay earlier, but I had already finished by that point.
Yeah.
Like there was like the gate guard or whatever reading like little girl like anime magazines or some shit.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you can distract him with those magazines, can't you?
Oh, I don't know.
No, it's just cinematic. He's just
okay.
Yeah, it's when you arrive to borrow the ship that takes you to the final fight. Because I don't know, some little girl built it. That's one of the things in this game. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
I should probably note that I've never played a Metal Gear game before, except for the one on the NES leading up to this. So like there are things that are kind of like gaps for me, like references that they make that I don't really get.
Yeah.
A series that I've unfortunately neglected for way too long.
Yeah. So this chronologically, this happens right after MGS4. And I think I think the Metal Gear games were a lot more interesting plot wise than this game. And the only thing they kind of took into this game was, war is bad. And there's, they're always fighting these wars and the war economy and all this talk about war. That's like a big idea in the Metal Gear Solid games. But yeah, so as he's chasing down these guys, he teams up with I'm blanking on the name of the squad that he's with for a little while, with the black guy and the white chick and the German. Anyway, the squad of good guys. So he's with the good guys for a while. Then he leaves the good guys because he needs to kind of seek things out on his own terms. He encounters all these child soldiers with the guys that y'all really hate. That kid who talks like Jar Jar Binks, who you guys really hated.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah. Well, I
Horrible.
mean, they're not just child soldiers. They're basically taking children and putting their brains in a jar to make them cyborgs, right? So like,
yeah.
it's pretty. That part's pretty messed up, and that's probably the worst thing that the bad guy Armstrong is involved in the whole thing. I mean, you can argue whether or not his plan is good or not, but the concept of kidnapping Brazilian or Mexican street children and removing their brains and putting them into a jar, that's pretty bad. So, you know.
Yeah. And the plot was pretty scant in this game. But yeah, you know, you're trying to save children, and you're essentially hunting down these bosses want to keep the war economy going. And at the end of the game, you go to Pakistan and you fight Senator Armstrong in this Metal Gear. And you know, Armstrong kind of admits to everything. The president was never the real target. And his plan was to provoke conflict, blame Desperado, create massive public fear, and make Americans demand stronger leadership so that Armstrong would become president. And his ideology is essentially extreme social Darwinism. And he believes, you know, weak people should stop relying on governments. The strong should rule. Everyone should fight for themselves. Society should reward strength instead of equality. But the Senator Armstrong, I would say that the Senator Armstrong speech was epic, but it didn't really make any sense.
Yeah, it's totally nonsensical.
Yeah, it's just because
it's very like libertarian in nature.
Yes.
And libertarianism doesn't really make any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, hey, I'm going to create a nation where everyone can do exactly what they want. And
right.
It's like, you know, this is like a child.
Yeah.
It's just sowing chaos. Like for what? For just subjectivism?
Yeah. Yeah, because and you know, he talks about the Patriots, and the Patriots in the Metal Gear Solid games were these people who controlled the news. They were an AI that essentially controlled the news and gave people a particular message. But the Patriots in the Metal Gear Solid game, that's just a name. They're not actually patriotic. And it would make sense if Anderson was like a patriotic American, but he wasn't a patriotic American. He said, you know, America is diseased, rotten to its core. We need to pull it up by the roots. And then a second later, he says, make America great again, which I thought that was pretty awesome. That was before Trump ever used that phrase. You know, Metal Gear Solid, you know, Metal Gear Revengeance used it. Who knows? Maybe Trump got it from this game.
And maybe he was watching his son play it. I mean, Barron would have been about the right age to be playing this game at the time, right?
Yeah, I Googled it. Apparently, Reagan was the first person to coin that phrase. But yeah, so his Senator Anderson, his motivations don't really make sense. He's like, make America great again, but also Darwinism, and yeah, and so, but as far as
hyper individualism is basically one of the things he's talking about, where, you know, any man can be whatever they want. You know, they don't have to ask anyone for permission to do anything. It's essentially like might makes right, but like on the individual level, which would just be insane chaos.
Yeah, it's total chaos, and it doesn't really work because you still have to believe in something that unites you as a nation. And so, yeah, it ends with a fight between Senator Armstrong and Raiden. And then the one thing that I liked at the end, well, it was kind of silly at the end. They bring this girl who kind of looks like Raiden. Were they like implying that was like his child? Maybe. Do you remember the girl at the very end, the little girl?
Yeah, I mean, the implication was that he saved her at some point in some other time. She says that at the end.
Okay.
I think in some dialogue towards the beginning of the game, it mentions he has a wife and kid. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Rose is his wife from the other Metal Gear games, and maybe that was because that little girl had white hair. I thought maybe it was his daughter or something.
Yeah, I'm not 100% on whether it was his daughter or not because it was never said explicitly. She said he saved her.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. She never calls him dad or father or anything like that. So
yeah. But
here's a question though. Why does a cyborg wear an eye patch? Like they have why didn't they fix his eye? Like what is that? Like what are the limitations of technology in this world? Or is he just like aura farming with his eye patch? I don't really understand.
I had that same thought, but I was too distracted by the fact that, again, he's a cyborg. He could have chosen anything, but he's wearing high heels. That has always been the worst thing. I can't get over that.
Okay.
The heels are super gay.
Dude, I will remind y'all that in the 1600s, it was very based for men to wear heels. So
not in combat.
Dude, no, but men wore heels in the 1600s. So like, it was based.
This is Andy's cross-dresser cope. You're hearing it live right here tonight.
Yeah, dude, are you a part of the French aristocracy? You're gonna wear makeup too?
You guys are totally right though. It's fucking gay now. So
put those heels back in your closet, Andy. It's not gonna happen.
No, I
dude.
know.
He changes his name to Andy Heels. Complete channel makeover.
No, like I do think, guys, is Raiden based or is he kind of a little bit of a cuck?
Oh, he's a pussy. Like he's not manly when he talks to people. I mean, I don't know. He does cool shit.
I mean, he talks like this, so he's kind of manly, I guess.
His voice actor is horrendous too.
It seemed like it was different voice actors between the cutscene and the game. It sounded like a different guy.
It might have been, but maybe it was different recording sessions. I don't know. And they used like a different microphone. There was something different. You're right. But the voice actor,
because in the cutscenes, they had him doing that like whisper talking thing that annoys the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at the end of the game, at least they had all the cyber kids like serving a purpose. They were like, okay, we're gonna put all those brains into cyber bodies, and you guys will still have a purpose. But okay, this is probably a good time to talk about Sneed. You wanted to talk about the meme culture this game inspired.
Yeah, I mean, the memes for this game mostly centered around like Armstrong. They were I'm sure you guys probably remember this. Like they were everywhere in like 2016, 2017,
right?
Like during like that first like Trump election. And it's like very emblematic too, which is kind of funny of like where like not to get super political, but like where the right was at that point, where they're very like inherently libertarian.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, in retrospect, like it's mostly incoherent nonsense.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys said it yourself. Like Armstrong's speech was like kind of fucking retarded. Like when we get down to it, he's a cool character. I like him. He's got aura for sure. He's a great villain. But yeah, his views are a little weird. It's like complete subjectivism. He's basically saying like, oh yeah, like I'm going to do like horrible, evil shit, like in the short term to like potentially get like, rid of that evil shit in the long term. And like that's not based. That's kind of gay.
Yeah, it's kind of gay.
It kind of reminded me of The Watchmen, where Ozymandias has that whole plan to basically blame Dr. Manhattan for destroying the world so that he can unite the world. And that seems sort of like the same. It's kind of like the same like thread. It's like he's going to cause a bunch of chaos so that everyone unites under his banner, right? That I don't know. It didn't work for me.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, they can't have an actually based conservative because all the lefties will lose their mind. So they just kind of defaulted to this vague like war is bad message, and it's like I don't know. I mean, is war bad? It's like pretty necessary.
I mean, it happens, right? Because people have conflicts, and when they can't resolve them through diplomatic means, and eventually it comes to blows. That happens on an individual level, and it happens on a state level. So, it's like it seems very childish to like approach the concept of war, which is there's a lot of nuance to war with the idea that just war is bad. I mean, of course it's bad, it's violence, but how else do you solve a problem that can't be solved any other way, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I would say after playing this game, I always saw these memes and I thought they were cool. And after playing this game, I'm a bit like, I wish there had been like a cooler message behind the memes. It's kind of like Far Cry 5. Like the game was so confused about its own message that you can't really say it's based at the end of the day. It was just sort of all over the place with all kinds of messages. And I think video games do that intentionally so that neither the right or the left will get upset about it and hopefully buy it.
Servbot23 in the chat says Armstrong is an ANCAP. Yeah, I mean, you could certainly make that argument. He does kind of come off that way. Also, very base name and profile picture, Servbot23.
What's an ANCAP?
Anarcho-capitalist.
Yeah.
All right.
The left's version of that is an anarcho-tyrannist. So
anarcho-communism.
Yeah.
I mean, which is
I'm joking.
Yeah, which is tyranny anyway. Yeah,
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm joking.
It's like double tyranny because you can argue that anarchy is tyranny just by a different name.
Yep.
All right, Trice, you wanted to talk about this game. What you felt like this game sort of had a lack of identity.
Yeah. So it has like RPG elements, right? Wherein you can improve your character through BP, which is earned based on how well you score on levels. And then there are these VR missions that are the least fun thing I've ever played in my life, that you can also grind away at if you want to try and max your character out before the end of the game. I gave up on them because they both looked like shit and weren't fun. But the elements are a little strange in that, like, sometimes when you beat a boss, you get a weapon and then you can unlock that weapon if you want. It becomes your secondary weapon, which means that it basically adds a couple of combos to your repertoire, and you can upgrade your health and your energy. But you don't really get enough BP to max your character out by the end of the game, which is a little frustrating. So I guess they really want you to play those terrible VR missions. And then, yeah, there are other things too. Like you unlock extra combos. The dodge mechanic is actually locked behind a combo, so you have to purchase it.
I didn't know about the dodge mechanic for like 75% of the game.
Yeah, I mean, it makes the game a lot easier, especially when you're fighting, bigger enemies, because you can just hop around them.
I wonder how the progression would be if you were to just S rank like every encounter, like how much BP you'd actually get.
I know the bonuses for getting gold medals on the VR challenges are extremely high. It's like 12,000 BP each time. I didn't really take note of how much BP you were getting for an S, but if you watch my gameplay, I didn't get many of them, so that's probably why. So it had this RPG element thing, but it wasn't really an RPG, and it had all these combos you could purchase, but very little opportunity to use them because almost everything would break your combos constantly. So, like
enemies stunning you and shit.
Yeah, and like 50 million RPG enemies firing RPGs at you while you're trying to beat on one thing. It's It was like they turned up the tedium without turning up the fun. Like, why are you giving me all these combos if I can't even really use them? You certainly can't use them in boss fights.
Yeah. I hate it when a game gives you combos and then doesn't. Like, I just want some kind of positive feedback whenever I've done a combo. Like, combat in this game, it was fun at times, and I did like how flowing and fluid it was. Like, it felt really good to fight, but I was mashing buttons like 90% of the time. Like, I would do the parry mechanic correctly, but the rest of the time it felt like I was mashing buttons. And I think that's a sign that your combo system has failed. If I can just mash buttons and do like pretty good.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like, I never felt the need to learn combos. I mean, granted, I didn't beat the game, but the second monsoon encounter is pretty close to the end. It's like 2/3. It's like 3/4 through.
Yep.
I feel like this game really suffered by not having like a dedicated block and parry and like dodge roll button.
Yeah, I think this game was it's almost like Dark Souls it's kind of like the way Call of Duty codified what a military shooter was supposed to feel like. Dark Souls sort of codified how melee is supposed to feel with a sword in a game. And this game was Dark Souls becoming insanely popular. 2013, I think only the first Dark Souls game had come out.
I think.
Yeah, it came out 2011.
There was also Demon Souls before that.
Right. I said the first Dark Souls game, though.
Yeah, I guess.
Got him. Got him. See, he was about to correct me. I got him.
You win this one, Andy Heels. You got me.
Fuck off.
Dark Souls 2 was, 2014, I think? So it was like a year after this one?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, no, I think that's a good point. I think you're right. I think Dark Souls really did kind of... Yeah, it did to this type of gameplay, I suppose, what Call of Duty did to shooters. I completely agree.
Yep. And this like just dude, some of the characters were just like shit. Like this dog who talks in a robot voice, like I just didn't care about this dog character.
Well, he makes no sense too. It's like he's an enemy, and then all of a sudden you beat him, and he's your friend for the rest of the game. And it's like, well, he's an AI, and he's programmed to do this or that. And it's like,
yeah,
I don't know.
Is it the same one though? Because like
it is, yeah.
Use like throughout the game.
No, this is the one. This one you encounter here is the one that ends up being your companion.
Makes sense. These things were annoying as fuck to fight, by the way.
Yeah, this was a pretty annoying fight.
Well, once you get the pole arm, I found they were pretty easy. I didn't have much trouble with them.
I think me and you both agreed that the best part of this game was playing as the dwarf gecko.
Yeah, I did. I enjoyed playing as the gecko more than basically anything. I'm like, oh, I'm in like a Valve puzzle game now. This is fun.
the little 3-armed like thing that walks around.
Yeah. It also manages to be more lethal than Raiden, because all you have to do is sneak up behind somebody and shock their brain and they're done.
Very true.
And it's a lot easier to sneak as that thing than it is as Raiden. That's another thing about the identity issues. The stealth mechanics in this game are shit. They are pure shit.
Stealth is so tacked on. It is absolutely fucking horrible. While I was like just fucking around like earlier today, kind of like waiting for this to start, I actually played the first Metal Gear Solid on PS1 just for like 20 minutes, like nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say that I played it. 20 minutes is nothing. But in that very first section, I'm like, wow, the stealth is already better than Metal Gear Rising.
Oh yeah.
I felt like it just had to be there because it's a Metal Gear game.
Totally. And like, imagine like stopping in the middle of this really fluid, nice combat and like throwing a fucking grenade. Like, I think I did that one time because I was just desperate to beat a boss, and it feels so retarded and bad to like stop everything and throw a grenade really slow. It's like, why did they even put this in the game? Throwing a grenade. So
the grenade throwing and like the rocket launchers felt horrible to use.
They were brutally bad. And on top of it, like they were barely functional. I found they didn't do any damage.
Yeah, and it's the Metal Gear elements were so clearly tacked on because this had to be a Metal Gear game at the end of the day. So like the way the menu works, the way it goes up and down, and just several of the the stealth that isn't really stealth. And the only time I saw somebody using that stealth, I watched a guy who did a no-hit run of this game, which was actually amazing that people are doing that. But those were the only people who I saw use the stealth. And because the game doesn't even have there's no crouch, right? I don't think there's a crouch. I think you just walk really slowly. That's how you do stealth in this game. It was so bad.
You don't even have to walk slowly. I don't think that there's actually like a sound mechanic in this game. I think you can just run. I don't think it matters.
Yeah, but there was just all these tacked on mechanics from Metal Gear that was like, okay, you have to put that in the game because it's Metal Gear, but it makes no sense in the context of what they
like
made
the cardboard
here.
Box, which didn't work well at all.
Right, which they totally saw. They would totally see you in the cardboard box.
Someone in the chat asked the question, Ultimate Paris 77, best boss in the game? What do you guys say?
Like hardest or funnest?
I guess just the one that you had the best time with, I suppose.
The one I enjoyed fighting the most would probably be Sam.
Because did you find him easy?
I didn't find him easy, but I found that I could like use my kit against him. Everyone else was just like this very annoying sort of like run around and then, take a couple of swipes type shit. And then that big crawler thing that you fight like right before you fight Armstrong, that's all like get yourself to the, to the quick time.
Right. Get yourself to the quick time event.
Yeah, a lot of the bosses are that. Just get yourself to the quick time event. And, I mean, that's fine, but that's not gameplay to me.
Yeah.
I don't.
It's true.
That's not impressive. I'm playing a cinematic. It's kind of cool, but like it's not gameplay. I mean, that for me is like coming up on the line where this is no longer a game. It's like a visual novel or a movie game.
But you're not against visual. I mean, you're not like you're into JRPGs. Those are incredibly linear stories usually.
Yeah, I am. But that's not what I expect from an action combat game. I mean, I expect to be able to like beat the boss on my own terms, find a way to do it myself. But the game, the boss mechanics in this game, there's really only one way to beat them from what I gathered. Yeah. And you kind of have to follow those mechanics exactly. It's more like an MMO in that sense. Not that it is an MMO. I mean, but like that boss fights are incredibly scripted.
Yeah, I think it has to do with your investment in the story and how well the story is told. And I don't think the story was told very well in this game. So like the quick time fight scenes I thought were dope, but the story kind of sucked. And like in a game like Uncharted or God of War, like I love the story in Uncharted 2. And so I'm willing to kind of go along with the linearity and the quick time events because I'm really invested in the story, whereas maybe I wasn't as invested in the story of this game. I don't know. What do you think, Sneed?
I didn't really have I guess before we get to that, just real quick on the boss fight question, I would just say my favorite was Mistral. I thought that gameplay wise, it was really, really interesting. You can beat the shit out of her. You have to also like face off against like all the little dwarf geckos running around. You can kill them for health pickups. She like rearms her, literally, like no pun intended, rearms herself. and then you have to beat her, go into blade mode, slash them all off. And I thought that was fun. I actually really enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
Definitely a big contrast from Monsoon that made me super angry. But to answer your question,
dude, and I want to point out that Sneed made sure to send us a text that said, "Oh yeah, I beat Monsoon the second time. I fought her twice, or I fought him twice and then beat him." And I was like, "Okay, dude, fucking beat the game then."
Yeah. I actually had very little trouble with Monsoon, and Sundowner, to be honest. The only person I had trouble with throughout the whole game was Armstrong at the very end, where some of them took 2-3 tries, but I think Armstrong took me somewhere between like 25 and 30 tries. So
yeah, the thing that made me realize this game's combat was not particularly well designed was that I just to beat Monsoon, I struggled against Monsoon really hard, and I finally beat him when I just mashed buttons faster. That was literally how I beat him. I was just mashing buttons as quick as possible, and I was finally able to beat Monsoon. It's like that should not be the way you are able to beat a boss. It's just by hitting buttons faster,
Yeah, I mean, I beat him because I parried him pretty effectively when he put you in the mist thing.
Right.
That was, I mean, I found that was how I beat him, is just hitting all those parries.
Yeah, you got to hit the parries for sure.
And then you just wait him out until he throws shit at you. and then like whatever it is, and then I forget, but there's basically a time when you can DPS him pretty hard, but you have to wait him out, like when he's splitting his body up and stuff. That's the annoying part, is just like, I don't know, like it felt like they were adding content by just making the boss unhittable for a period of time. So it was a slog, but I didn't have much like trouble with him.
Yeah,
per se.
But Sneed, what do you, as far as like the linear, so compare the linearity of this with like Uncharted, and do you have, because you've talked about liking the Uncharted games, how do you feel like this game was either less or more not as successful
from a story perspective?
Yeah,
I didn't really have an issue with the story. I think my only real issue was that, not having really played Metal Gear prior to this, there were just gaps in like the references or things that it expected me to know already that I didn't. Otherwise, I thought it was fine. I didn't really have a lot of issues with it.
Yeah. All right. Next random question here. I just wrote, is war as a motivator for profit still a valid idea? So at the end of the game, and sorry, I'm kind of jumping all over the place here, but at the end of the game, Senator Armstrong is like, oh, we have to keep the wars going to keep the money coming in because money is produced by wars. And maybe I'm being naive, but I feel like America is losing a lot of money when they go to war. Is that our country's still like, oh, we got to make money by going to war now?
I don't think the like classic war economy exists in the way that it did, 30 or 40 years ago. I mean, obviously certain companies get very wealthy off of war, but I don't think countries get wealthy.
The country
off of
doesn't.
War.
Yeah. I mean, we lost trillions of dollars in Iraq. We're losing so much money right now, fighting for the Jews in the Middle East right now. Like, yeah, I just don't think that's a valid idea in this game.
Yeah, I mean, like politicians and such do it for, various political interests, power, etc. And then, the military industrial contractors do it for profit. And then the citizenry, lose their lives and, have to live under more debt and potentially higher taxes. That's how it goes.
Right.
I think the one thing that does come out of war is a lot of technological advancement, just because, the arms race drives a lot of what ends up being civilian technology eventually. So there is that. I would say that's the one thing that's true. And that can turn into, I guess, a wealthier nation eventually. But in the short term, I don't think that the war economy is all that great anymore.
Did y'all see those sick VR goggles that Palmer Luckey designed for like people in combat, where they can like see people through walls and shit?
Yeah, like Ghost Recon Future Soldier type shit. Yeah,
dude,
that stuff is very cool.
Yeah, it's very, very fucking dope.
It looks like you're playing Call of Duty. Like it's just like, oh, I got a UAV up and a fucking mini map with red dots on it, which makes total sense. I mean, every military age dude is like very well aware of how to play COD. They're flying drones and killing people with fucking Xbox 360 controllers. I mean, like, listen, it's smart. Dude. I mean, it is what it is.
Dude, I mean, being able to see a towel head through a wall before you shoot him, like that's a huge tactical advantage, So,
dude, if you guys are watching this gameplay right now, this is me not understanding the fucking slice mechanic at all. There we go. I finally figured it out. I leapfrogged this helicopter maybe 10 times before I finally figured it out, and then from then on, I understood.
You fruit ninja'd him.
Yeah, but it took me up to this point in the game to finally understand that when something's blinking blue like that, the game wants you to use the sword mechanic to kill it.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to get specifically into the gameplay soon, but we're still kind of talking about story. So, Trice, you wanted to talk about what you felt like was the terrible voice acting and writing for certain characters. What stood out to you that was really bad?
Okay, so the main character, Raiden's voice actor, he has really like weird line deliveries a lot that don't make sense in the context. It's almost like he's reading off a sheet of paper and no one gave him any context as to when he'd been saying it.
Right.
He didn't have a full script. They're just like, hey, say this thing. And he's like, yeah, you want me to say it sad or you want me to say it happy? Do it somewhere in between. Like that. That's what it seemed like the whole time with him. And then obviously you had Jar Jar Stinks, that kid. He was fucking terrible. And maybe the worst voice actor. They literally have a grown man speaking like Jar Jar Binks for a kid. It makes no sense. He's like trying to sound like a kid, but he doesn't. He just sounds like a guy doing an impression of a kid.
My favorite part is that me and you had that exact same thought and conclusion without having like talked to each other about it prior.
Yeah, I can't remember if I texted you or what, but I was like, "What's with this?"
I think we talked about it like in like Discord VC. And it was like, I thought the same fucking thing.
Awful.
Hey, somebody in the comments said, not gonna lie, we like you, Andy, but this gameplay is pretty bad. It's not mine. See, I can blame it's Trice.
Yeah, except I'm the only one that finished the game.
It's true.
This is true.
I cucked out. with my heels.
They got filtered. See, this is the kind of gameplay that doesn't get filtered. How about that? Can you imagine what theirs would look like?
Yeah.
No.
How many times did it take you to beat some of these bosses? Like, let's just, for example, like Monsoon first and second time. Like, how many times did it take you to beat them?
Monsoon first time was 2 or 3 tries. Let me think. Sundowner was 2 or 3. Sam was 2. I beat her, I think, on the first try.
What difficulty were you playing on?
Normal.
Yeah, I think we all played normal. I think Andy started in hard and then went to normal.
Dude, I did. I was playing on hard, and then I got to the first fight where there's like multiple UGs, which stands for unmanned gears. Multiple unmanned gears on hard. I was like, oh fuck, this is too hard. I'm not gonna be able to do this.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Then the replay of the 2 bosses. I think that was the second try that I beat that.
Yeah, somebody in the chat said, damn, I must be the only people on earth to actually love hack and slash games. I think if this is like your genre, you probably are just better than us at this game, because I don't think this is any of our primary genres.
I'll tell you one thing that would have made me love this game more is if there were some open areas with lots of enemies that you could use your combos on and feel good about it. Like I feel like there was some like Dynasty Warrior level of enemy density where I'm just, cooking a bunch of people with my combos that I spent my BP to unlock. I think that would have felt really good, but there's no parts like that. Everything you fight is annoying as shit. Like the gorilla guys are annoying as shit.
Yeah, those gorilla guys, I don't remember what those called.
Oh yeah, fuck those guys that hug you. Yeah, the guys that hug you. Yep.
AIDS. Anytime I was able to run away from them, I would.
Dude, the shake the stick for the stun mechanic, brutal.
It happens so often.
It unnecessary. Just like give me a button instead, or like just make me recover after a certain amount of time. Don't make me shake the stick. What is this, like original Mario Party?
Yeah.
Like I got to get the fucking.
Oh, that's why you hate N64 controllers. You killed yours on Mario Party. That makes sense. No, I get that now. That makes total sense.
No, dude, I got the glove for the palm of my hand, dude. I remember the original Mario Party. We all ended up with blisters on our palms from playing that game.
There was a special glove for it.
Yeah, they mailed people out gloves if you like called them and bitched about it.
Yeah. No, we didn't get the gloves, but I remember that happening.
Dude, it's like you gotta say this game looks so fucking cool when people are playing it, but it's just the gameplay itself is just tough. But okay, Tom said, Andy, how can you complain? Tom, friend of the channel, hangs out in our Discord. How can you complain about winning via button mashing if you play on regular? Dude, my point was I couldn't beat a boss, and then I just went into a boss with just pure button mashing, and I was able to beat it, which to me shows that aspects of this game, I think the combat is just poorly designed, because I wasn't able to beat that boss, and then I played the boss again and I just button mashed randomly and I was able to beat it. And it's like, to me, that shows a poorly designed combat system, in my opinion. So
I think the biggest issue is that I didn't feel like this game was as responsive as it needed to be.
Yeah.
I think if there had been a parry button, I would have liked it a little more. There's a lot of things I would have preferred if it had. Look, we're looking at this game now in 2026. This game obviously is what
13 years old.
Yeah, 13 years old. So, and none of us played it when it came out. So we're judging it by today's standards. For the time, it had a lot of aura. It looks really cool, and I think it was probably revolutionary. But to play it now, it's not that enjoyable an experience for me.
I would say I enjoyed this game for the like 10 hours that I played it. I had a good time. But sorry, go ahead, Trice.
Yeah, I did not, but it was because it was multiple points of failure. It wasn't just the combat for me. I didn't find the combat super enjoyable. I thought the level designs were kind of cool, but I didn't find the combat super enjoyable, and I thought the story was kind of terrible, to be honest. Raiden's his motivations don't really make sense. He actually just kind of comes off as like a sort of like a naive child who's yelling at daddy most of the time. And then on top of that, like he has no real driving principle. It's just this concept of quote unquote justice, which is purely relative. Like justice is a word a lot of people throw around, but justice doesn't mean anything. It means something different to every person.
Right.
It's not an objective standard. Like law tries to make justice an objective standard, like what the law sees as justice, but it's relative. So like, you might think that like if somebody steals your car, you should be able to steal their car and that would be justice to you. But, justice to the government is that they go to jail and, sorry about your car.
You're saying that justice always differs like in its like the amount of it that's applied.
Right.
Like some people could like you could probably extend this to like the death penalty argument, like for example.
Yeah. And that's why the left talks about justice a lot, because it's non-quantifiable.
Yeah.
That's a good point. It's a good point.
Yeah. And even at the end of the game, what injustice exactly was Raiden fighting against? I mean, I guess it was the children that you saw in the middle of the game. He was fighting to free the children, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, his motivation at that point makes a lot more sense, but I don't understand how you can be in a private military corporation and think you're the good guys. Like, if you're a PMC that fights for a good cause, I could see that. Yeah, but you only take good causes. I mean, what government is a good cause? Well, Raiden talked about leaving that private military company because he didn't believe in what they were doing. So you can definitely be a PMC who you can choose who you fight for, and if you think it's a just cause or not. Yeah, I don't understand that. It seems naive.
Can we mention something that's kind of related to this that we haven't gotten to yet?
Sure.
What, you guys remember that part where like Jetstream Sam was like talking to him like over like all the screens and stuff in the middle of the city, and he's like, do you not realize that you've been killing people this whole time? And he's just like, Ryan's just like butthurt and sad, and you have to like slowly like sadly walk your way to the monsoon fight, and it was the gayest shit ever.
Yeah, that part's terrible.
I was like, oh no, like I have to like crawl through this section because Ryan's sad and can't
because
fight
of guilt.
Because so cringe.
Because he's a little cuck and he feels guilty about hurting people.
Dude, he got totally shell-shocked by a truth bomb. It makes no sense. He's RP walking to a fight.
Dude, speaking of other little moments, what was the, oh my gosh, what is this VR ass gameplay? This
welcome to Mustard World.
Okay, do y'all remember at the end of either at the beginning or the end of the monsoon fight, and again, this is probably an anime thing that I don't know about, but Raiden does the whole like, these are my standards and this is what I follow. This is my code, but I'm going to break my code because this injustice is so bad. And he like rips off his eye patch. And that's the point at which he becomes Jack the Ripper. Is that like an anime thing? I feel like I've seen that in JRPG.
It is absolutely an anime trope, and it's so commonly used that I called that was going to happen before it did. I fucking knew it was going to happen. I like to the T. I was like, oh, he's just going to say fuck it. He's going to be really powerful, and then he's going to get like this red aura and just like be like a badass. And he literally got that verbatim, and I was like, there's no way it was that predictable. But what really annoyed me about, like, I'm fine with that trope, but what really annoyed me was it was like, oh, I'm Jack the Ripper now, and I'm like a badass again. And then it's like, you're supposed to feel like super powerful, but then like that happens when you're about to fight Monsoon, and Monsoon made me feel totally powerless, which like completely undermined that moment, I feel.
Right.
Because it's like, oh, I'm this super powerful guy, and now this asshole is like glowing purple, and I can't fucking hit him because he keeps splitting. Like, it was annoying.
You're right.
Ruined that.
Right, you're right in a cuck getting cucked by a trans person who like shapeshifts. Yeah.
Can someone explain to me the in-world reason why anyone would build these giant like Metal Gear things when one little cyborg can rip its arm off and beat it to death with it? Like, why don't they just build more Raidens?
The Metal Gears are way cooler in the other Metal Gear games, and they launch nukes. Okay. And they look cool as hell. They're mechs, you know. Obviously,
I get it, but like functionally, wouldn't it be a much better investment to just make more Raidens and Armstrongs and Sams than it would be to make these like giant scrap heaps?
Dude, the Metal Gear are way sicker in like the first game. Like there's one Metal Gear in the first game and it's totally badass. So like
they're fucking eunuchs in this game, dude.
Yeah, I think they just made them. They made the UGs really shitty in this game. Unfortunately,
I kind of wondered that because like you kill that one at the very beginning of the game. I was like, oh, that was like an actual Metal Gear. Like that's underwhelming. That's interesting.
Yeah.
In the first mission, you kill a rather large Metal Gear, and you just hack it to pieces. Like it was my understanding these things are like impenetrable, and he's just like ribbon cutting this thing, right? I don't know. I mean, it is maybe somebody in the chat can explain this. Is there like an in-world reason why you can't make more Raidens or more Armstrongs?
Well, isn't that what Armstrong was kind of doing with all like the kid brains and shit?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, there is fruit. You chop some fruit.
I just saw a watermelon.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I realized it myself. I remember that now.
So while we're talking about like anime tropes, what other can y'all think of any, like, because I know you guys love fucking anime and I'm not as big of a fan of anime just because I haven't found any that I really like. But the story in this game was such an anime ass story to me. It was like Dragon Ball Z, like, oh, I fought you with my power and then I was defeated. Hang on, I'm gonna come back and now I have stronger power and I'm gonna fight you and then you have stronger power. It's like that is how I view anime, and that's why I don't think I'm into anime, because that's fucking what anime is to me. So do y'all agree that this is an anime ass story, or do you disagree?
Oh no, it definitely is.
It is for sure.
It's not a good. It's not a good one. It's not a good one.
But okay, so you agree it's an anime ass story, but you're saying it's just not a good anime ass story.
Yeah, there's terrible anime, dude. They make a lot of anime, and a lot of it is shit.
Okay, all right.
So, I mean, that's like saying, like, is it an action movie story?
You're right.
You like that's action movies,
right? I got you, Trice. You like action movies,
yeah.
So explain yourself with this terrible action movie over here.
Yeah, it's it's anime is a pretty broad genre, and they make all kinds of types of stories, and there are incredibly good ones, and then there are piss poor ones. A lot of the worst ones are a type of anime called isekai. They've made so many of them that a lot of them are pure feces. So I like some of them, but most of them are bad now. And it's because it became the most popular genre for a while.
Yeah, so there's literally one of them where like a guy gets like reincarnated as like a vending machine in like a different world or something.
Yes,
it's ridiculous.
Reincarnated as a vending machine. There's one where I think a girl gets reincarnated as a spider. Yeah, there's all kinds of crazy isekais out there, and all of those are technically anime stories. But Raiden doesn't get reincarnated as a vending machine in this one. So
I didn't even notice this. I need your bike. Thank you for your cooperation.
Here's my phone number. You can reach me any time of day. And I'm not gay, even though I wear heels. One of the things I noticed towards the end of the game, as this game is like a broad critique of war, and they're like, war is bad. All these soldiers are fighting for reasons they don't understand and causes they don't believe in. And do y'all think is this game an anti-American game, or is it a pro-America game? It's mostly anti, I would say.
Yeah. How so?
I don't think it's really either. I think it's just anti-war, like generally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but I think the game also sort of makes it clear that, the United States is probably the driver of war in the world. I mean, at least around the time this game came out. Yeah. I mean, that's what they're getting across.
America kind of is the driver of war, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I mean, well, hard to say. I mean, there's lots of wars going on in the world. We're only aware of the ones that we're in most of the time.
Oh, dude, the other thing I wanted to say about this kid, I bet the Japanese developer who made this thought they were being very diverse, and they were like, oh, we'll have like a black kid in there, and everyone will be like, oh, you're not racist because you put a black kid in there. Well done. Except they made him talk in this like retarded, close that eye pass, man. Like,
yeah. Well, they were like, yeah, there's this country in South America where they speak English, but they speak it like they have a traumatic brain injury. Let's put that kid in there.
Right. It's just funny that they probably put the kid in there to be like, look, we're not racist. Here's a DEI hire in the game, and then they just totally make him Jar Jar Binks, which is like a depiction of a I don't know, what didn't people say Jar Jar Binks was racist or something?
Yeah, they said that he reminded them of like a minstrel show.
Yeah, minstrel shows. Yeah.
So
I think even more than Jar Jar, he actually sounds like he's doing a bad impression of Waka from Final Fantasy X. Trice, you might know. I don't think Andy
yeah, I remember Waka. He's the Blitzball guy.
Yeah, he's like the Islander guy.
Yeah,
he's voiced by what's his name? Like John DiMaggio, the guy who does Bender from Futurama.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Waka was a great character. He never annoyed me when I played the game.
No, I'm like, no, Waka's great. I'm just saying that like he sounds like a bad impression of that.
Yes.
Yeah. But here's like a stealth section that we're showing right now with like the gorilla guys.
Oh, I totally cheese this, by the way. After I stealth kill this guy, there's not another stealth kill in here.
I got caught and I got mad. I just fucking ran to the end.
I got mad. Yeah, dude, stealth and this game just do not mix. Like, those are opposite things. Like,
I think maybe I could have beaten this game from just like a skill perspective potentially, but I have such a low tolerance for games that really annoy me. And this game, like its combat really did annoy me pretty often.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like the turbo run button, like, because you can't even jump up to like normal heights with your normal jump and grab things. You can only grab ledges while you're using that.
Yeah, it wasn't exactly like Assassin's Creed where you just hold R and it will just climb up whatever you want to climb. I mean, I did like how fluid it was. You hold R and he just literally dips and dives and dodges around everyththing. That was cool, but yeah, going up the side of a wall it didn't work very well.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure I die here, by the way.
So Sneed, you had the game's sense of style and flair combined with its actual gameplay shortcomings. Are these shortcomings truly present, or was we simply filtered on a skill basis?
Yeah, I think we covered that like a bit. Like, there's so much style and flair to love about this game, and I think we all pretty much agree on that for the most part, other than maybe like the high heels and whatnot. But
it is gay. It is gay, guys. I was coping. I was trying to I don't know. I was trying to give this game some credit and be like, I don't know, maybe because like
they make his ass look tighter.
Fuck. All right, the heels are gay. We all agree their heels are fucking gay.
Yeah, it's like, I think we have to think like, were there issues with the gameplay? Because so many people really love this game, or like, were we just filtered because we're not really familiar with this genre?
Yeah,
I have no experience playing this genre. I have no experience making this genre. So
yeah,
I don't know. It's possible that maybe I just wasn't great at it my first time around.
Yeah,
but yeah, it did feel unresponsive to me. It really did. The lock-on feature also sucked. It would unlock all the time. There were some camera issues for sure. And like things like the stun mechanic were really annoying. Not having a dedicated parry was annoying. Not having a dedicated block or dodge roll is annoying. Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe it's a bit of both.
Yeah, I think it's just a completely different mindset than you get from a Dark Souls game. Like, Dark Souls games, you kind of know exactly what's happening. You lock on, you center around the enemy. Whereas hack and slash games just have a kind of like delay to them that I think is intentional, which is why you were saying they don't feel responsive. And I think for fans of the hack and slash genre, it's more about like, there was a point a couple hours into this playing this game where I was really loving the way combat feels, because it feels really fluid and it looks really cool. But you have to kind of like adjust your I see you going around cutting everybody's heart out, you bastard.
Hey, you know, we're executing.
No, but I think if you just sort of leave your expectations at the door and think, okay, I'm going to have to adapt my understanding of what melee combat is. Like, I'm going to have to change myself to understand this game. Then you can maybe enjoy it more. But it definitely feels different than a Dark Souls game.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Platinum has their own style. You know, like we mentioned, like Bayonetta. That's like probably the thing they're known the most for. And I haven't played a Bayonetta game either. So like I don't have like a firsthand like point of reference for their style either, other than this.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd like to try Bayonetta after this. Do you think that they put him in heels because they're used to their MC being in heels?
You know, I had that same thought. Like if they were like, yeah, we designed like cool, like there's like a really gay like stealth kill animation in this game. If you like go from the top where he like just cuts like them down from like straight down like with his like heels or whatever. It's like, ah.
It's fucking gay.
It's a really gay pose, to be honest. I'm like, yeah, like that seems very Bayonetta like.
Yeah, they started with fucking. Is her name Bayonetta? Is the chick from Bayonetta named Bayonetta?
You know, I would assume so, but I guess I don't know.
They started with the female body type from Bayonetta. They built all the combat around that.
All right, everyone in the chat, I know you guys are, a lot of people are fans of this game. It's not for me, but I will promise to pick a Bayonetta game at some point, and we will play that to compare it to this. So, you know.
Ooh, Bullet Witch. That's a good game. I've heard of that game. It was like an Xbox 360 game that only came out in Japan.
Somebody said Raiden Femboy.
Raiden Femboy, yeah.
I mean, you're not wrong, dude.
Yeah. All right, so kind of getting into the gameplay here. So I feel like we've been talking about the gameplay a lot. You know, you move from section to section. There's a lot of quick time segments interspersed with hack and slash combat. And we might have already covered this, but you, Trice, you were just saying what you felt like was the overall lack of fun in this game. And did you mean that from so I assume you mean that the cinematics felt very scripted and linear, so you weren't having fun there, and then the combat felt not great to you, so you weren't having fun there either?
Yeah, I felt like the combat, even against like trash enemies, was mostly there just to frustrate me, rather than to allow me to, have some fun with my kit and, enjoy my unlockables and stuff like that. I just didn't, I felt like the game was like, we're going to annoy you as much as possible with everything that we do. And you're going to have to figure out a way through this. And, I did. I mean, I beat the game, so It is what it is. But I didn't feel like the game gave you sections that were truly fun. Like the funnest part of the I'm serious, was playing as that little gecko. I thought that was fun. The rest of the game didn't feel all that fun to me. Everything you fight is annoying. It's not, there's no like moment where you get to like let loose. I guess they use the chopping mechanic for that, but after I'd done it a couple of times, it lost its novelty to me. And
that bow staff you get was pretty cool. I thought the fighting felt really fluid with that thing.
It did, yeah. I mean, that's the one thing that sort of the bow staff did make it better. But the problem is the enemies get progressively more annoying as you go through the game, and they throw more of those gorillas at you, and those guys don't let you do anything. And more of those walker things. I don't know what you call those. They're like smaller Metal Gear almost. What are they called? They remind me of like Ed 209 from RoboCop.
The smaller metal. I think there's only one kind of Metal Gear you fight.
No, I'm talking about the smaller ones, the ones that are like a little larger than a person. They're about the size of those gorillas. They're the two-legged walker things.
Yeah. Those are like the main Metal Gear that you fight in the game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you fight that really big one in the first.
Yeah.
And then you fight that giant spider thing at the end.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know. I felt like most of those enemies were just there to frustrate, and they all do frustrating things. Like even the regular guys, if you get too far away from them, they launch RPGs at you, and they have an endless supply of RPGs.
Mm-hmm.
So it just wasn't, the combat just wasn't that fun to me. It was okay.
Yeah, a lot of the gameplay sections were very annoying. Like that's why I tried to run past shit so much. And like that's for me always like a really bad sign in a game. And again, this could just be my personal preference, or maybe I got skill filtered, who knows? But where I'm just like, like I'm just groaning. Like I don't want to do this. Like, like I just want to run past. Give me the next boss fight, dude. I don't want to do this anymore.
Guys, don't worry. We're playing Halo CE next. Everybody wants to play that game, so we're gonna be glazing that game a lot more than this one.
And I want you guys to know, I appreciate you all watching, but you will never audience capture me. I will always tell you if I think your game sucks. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry if that makes you unhappy, but I'm unapologetic with my criticisms.
Yeah.
The biggest thing I have with this game is this is a game where this disparity for me is so wide. It's like, this is a game I really, really want to like, but I just wasn't able to. I wasn't able to bring myself to it.
Mm-hmm.
I would still like recommend that people try it though. There's certainly people in the chat who love it, and I think that's great. That's a good thing. But yeah, like there's definitely going to be a time later on where I give this game like another chance and do like another full playthrough. But yeah, the style, the flair, all that stuff makes me really want to love this game. Like when you're fighting a boss and you're about to kill him and the lyrics kick in, like that shit is so cool.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, but man, the gameplay just feels annoying.
Yeah, the spectacle was there in the boss fights. It was fun. And somebody told me that more plot is delivered in the songs than the actual dialogue of the game, because apparently if you look at the lyrics, each of the songs like tells you about the villain that you're fighting if you look at the lyrics to that song. Really? That's interesting. Yeah. Yeah. And I also this game does so much cool shit like that. Like I really want to like it. Yeah. Yeah, and I originally picked this game because all I had guys, I'm not defensive. This would be a totally different podcast. This would be like Andy's Tears Butthurt podcast if I like loved this game from childhood and y'all were hating on it. But like I played 20 minutes of this game maybe 3 years ago, and the first 20 minutes was cool as hell. And I was like, oh man, I want to go back and play this game one day. And so that's what we did on the podcast. I was like, it seems worth playing. I heard it was only 5 hours long. But yeah, and I like that in these fights. So they wrote custom songs for each boss. And I thought it was cool how like usually at the final segment of the boss fight was when the lyrics to the song would kick in. And I was like, oh, that's fucking cool. Like that's just a cool thing. And so like the spectacle they nailed. Like you watch footage of this game and it looks cool as hell. The spectacle of the game is awesome. I just think it's the core gameplay that people maybe had issues with, because that's what it's clunky. It is. At least I think. I wanted to address like a comment real quick. Dude, I cannot pronounce your name. I have no idea how to say that. IOANN whatever 2508. Sorry, I have no idea how to pronounce that. Says, damn, I thought this game was good. Now you've discouraged me from trying it. Don't get discouraged. You should absolutely try it for yourself and make up your own mind. There's a lot to like about this game. I think we're being like overly negative because I think the gameplay experience was kind of soured for us. And that's like the main thing in a game. You know, you have to have good gameplay. But there's a lot to like about this game, and you might even like the gameplay. I mean, that part could be totally subjective. So don't be discouraged. Definitely try it. We might just be skillless shitters over here, and you're you're getting filtered out by our bad commentary because you suck. You know, I mean, maybe you'll play it and it'll grab you immediately, and you'll be able to do all the combos and parry all the everythings. You know, yeah, because you guys haven't played like the Devil May Cry games, have you? I played a little bit of the 2013 reboot DMC. That's it. That's all I've played. And a lot of people hate that game. I played the very first one when it came out. Do you like Sneed, did you ever like the original Ninja Gaidens on Xbox? Yeah, I didn't own them until kind of recently. I picked them up from a retro game store maybe 2-ish years ago. Okay. But when it was new, like I had a
a friend in my neighborhood who had it, and it was pretty cool. I didn't get to delve super into it though. The Ninja Gaiden I've played the most is the NES one. That one is hard as fuck.
Oh, I love the NES Ninja Gaiden. Yeah,
it's really good, but damn, it's fucking frustrating.
Yeah, dude, I've gotten filtered by the old Ninja Gaiden Xbox game every time I've tried to play them, and they're hard as shit. And I think I have a feeling it would be similar to playing this game, where like it's not a Dark Souls combat system, but they are hack and slash, and they're apparently hard as fuck. So I'm going to stay away from Ninja Gaiden until I get my balls back.
I mean, maybe one of these days I'll put one of the Souls games up and and we'll have Andy be like, "No, this game sucks. It's ass." So who knows?
No, dude, I'll be fine on any of the Dark Souls game. I think I'll get wrecked by what's the really fast moving one?
Bloodborne?
No,
Sekiro.
Yeah, Sekiro. I think I would just rage quit and bitch out on Sekiro probably.
Sekiro is the worst Souls games anyway. Hot take, I guess. It's the worst Souls game.
I have heard it is the most difficult.
It's. I'm not going to rant about it. I could. I won't.
No, guys, feel free to pick Demon. I would play Demon Souls. I'd play any of the Dark Souls. I'd play Bloodborne, but I can't do Sekiro. I'm gonna bitch out.
Yeah, I mean, I'll try any of those games you pick, but I have a feeling I'll get filtered by those games.
Have you not played them?
I've played Bloodborne before. I mean, I didn't finish it. I played it at someone's house, and then I played the first Dark Souls game a little bit at someone's house as well. I never owned them.
Bloodborne is the easiest Souls game for sure, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah. It's like I will say, I'm not a huge Dark Souls guy, but I will say those games make sense. Like the combat makes sense to me in a Dark Souls game, whereas like there were aspects of this just getting my ass whooped by a boss, and I was like, I literally don't even know what I'm doing wrong. Sneed had a note here. How does this compare to other games in the Metal Gear franchise? I've never played another MG game, so I can't answer this one. I mean, could anything be Trice? Have you played Metal Gear?
I played Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2 back way back when they came out.
Yeah. I can't think of anything more different from a Metal Gear game than this game. Like this is the Earth Defense Force of Metal Gear games. Oh, those are pretty fun games.
I mean, that's what I would say. This is a much more arcadey style, like hack and slash game than any Metal Gear game ever.
Ooh, was Earth Defense Force made by the Dynasty Warrior games, guys? Earth Defense Force feels like Dynasty Warriors with guns.
Yeah, I don't know who makes it. I do own 5, I think, and I played it a lot one night. And when there was 2 nights in a row, I played it for like 12 hours in 2 days.
Yeah,
and then I forgot about it. But it was a fun game.
Yeah, I would say in Metal Gear, like Kojima notoriously needs an editor, so he just rambles on with lines and lines and lines of dialogue. The gameplay is stealth and like way more methodical and careful and slow, and so I love the Metal Gear games, but they're so different than this.
Yeah, I think I wish this game had been a little bit more hacky and slashy instead of trying to like find like a medium between hack and slash and then sort of like very deliberate parry combat. I think I would have preferred it go one way or the other. It felt like a tweener to me. I think that's my major issue with it. The one going back to my comment about identity.
Yeah. And I have one note here that I think is interesting and kind of shows you how I do think the Kojima Metal Gear games had better stories than this game. So the basic plot of Metal Gear Solid 2 is that Raiden has this whole past that he doesn't know about. And this AI has programmed him to do this mission and has planted false memories in his brain. And at the end of Metal Gear Solid 2, you find out the truth about his past. And Solid Snake tells Raiden at the end of the game a cool message, I guess, which is like, reject your programming and decide who you want to be, because you don't have to follow your AI programming anymore. You can truly choose for yourself, like who you want to be. And that's a cool message, I think, for the game. And if I had to be as charitable as this game as possible, I would say maybe the message of this game is like, reject war and be who you want to be instead of being in a war. Like it's just not as good of, this game just didn't have as cool of a message as MGS2 had. I don't know. What did y'all feel like the message of this game was, if there was a message besides war bad?
I don't think it went that far beyond war bad. that was kind of it.
Yeah, it was war bad, and Raiden has a code, although he can't really tell you what that is.
Right. I have a code. I just can't tell you what it is. And also I will reject the code and become Tattered Jack sometimes, or become a Jack the Ripper sometimes if I need to reject my code.
At the end he goes, what is it? He's like, my sword is only for protecting the weak, but this isn't my sword.
Yeah, there was some
when he's using Sam's sword. I believe that's pretty close to the exact line that he says.
I see. So the logic is like, when I'm using my sword, I'm a good guy, but when I'm using Sam's sword, I'm allowed to be a bad guy.
Yeah, when I'm using the Red Rocket sword, I'm a bad boy.
Which makes him no better than Armstrong. He's a subjectivist as well. He just drops his principles whenever it's convenient.
Right, exactly.
It's like, yeah, I've got these principles, but I really got to kill this old weirdo in the gimp suit who keeps talking about memes. So I'm just going to abandon that for a minute.
Yeah.
All right, boys. I think this is going to be a pretty short episode because we don't have a ton to say about this game. So, any final closing thoughts on Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance?
Yeah, I just want to reiterate, like, you guys should totally try it. Like, if you're on the fence, or if we discourage you, like that one chatter said, like, give it a shot. Like, make up your own mind, come up with your own opinion on it. I think there is a lot to like here. I think maybe I'm a little bit more charitable than Trice, who gave it like a definitive thumbs down at the beginning. But there is a lot to like here. And if this kind of combat, either it doesn't bother you, you think the responsiveness is fine, you're used to this type of gameplay, you're a Platinum fan, give it a shot. I think you will probably like it.
Trice?
Yeah, I think if you like hard games, just like you're the kind of person who really enjoys a challenge, this is a pretty good one. I thought Armstrong was a really difficult fight. And, I nearly got filtered by it myself, but I just kept trying until I figured out how to beat him. But overall, I didn't like the story. I didn't like the story, and I thought the gameplay was uneven. I did like the aura. And I thought that there were a lot of moments in the game that were like pure Kino, but overall, like for me, this is not a game that I would play again. But that doesn't mean that it's not a good game. It's just not a good game for me. And I know that sounds a little wishy-washy, but there are people I know I would suggest this game to. And there are a lot of people I wouldn't, because I know that this game would filter them and they would hate it. So it's one of those things where it's a thumbs down for me, because most people I know probably wouldn't enjoy this game. But I do think that there's a certain type of gamer who would love this game, and it might even be their favorite game. So
yeah, I think if you like the spectacle of it, some games are just about the spectacle and about cool quick time events, flashy and fun and cool looking combat, and like, some of the pairing and the animations you can do in these fights like looks cool. And it was just there were parts of the game that were very, very cool. And I would say, like, the rule of cool, like this game, it's a very cool game. And so if that's important to you, I think you're really going to have a good time with this game. If you're more of like a Dark Souls melee guy and you need like really, really solid combat, maybe this is probably not the game for you. But I had a lot of fun with it for the 10 hours that I played it.
I like that we're ending on like that super gay, like from the top, like heel sword animation he just did.
That fucking gay heel animation.
I guess, now that I think of it, I have one question, I guess, before we go. The last game we did was Onimusha Warlords, right? And how did you guys feel about that combat compared to this one?
It was easy. Like the combat was easy and simple and understandable in that game. Like it wasn't sophisticated combat, but it was simple and I could understand it. Whereas the combat in this game was not understandable at points.
Overly complex for limited results. Whereas Onimusha, the combat is incredibly simple but it's also unforgiving. If you get hit in that game, it sucks. It's a big issue because, there's no way to heal yourself really. And there's a lot of other problems, but
right.
Yeah.
But I think unforgiving is fine. Like, I feel like if you have like the mechanics to be able to combat it, like to be able to like really responsively control your actions, because then it just comes down to like user error. It's like, okay, like it's unforgiving to mistakes, but they're like genuine mistakes like that are on you that you can't really blame on the game in any way.
Well, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, like, and I think that's something that Onimusha did well. Like, you had like, it was easy to lock on and it worked well. You can like sidestep and it worked well. It had like a dedicated block, and like the combat itself was simple. There's not like combos. You're just mashing square or I guess X for you guys, and like the hit feedback is like perfect. So I found, like, I keep coming back to this. I think it's the responsiveness of the controls for me, because Onimusha, despite being a much older game and having combat that's, I think, controls better but is like more simplistic, I think it results in a better combat system overall.
Yeah, and like I've seen people do, there is a hardest difficulty mode on this game, I think, where you just have to do like a perfect run and you can't get hit or something. And I've seen people do perfect no-hit runs of this game. So that to me says that this game does have a consistent system, and you just need to figure out, you just need to get good at this game, basically. But I like that word you used, hit feedback. If there's not enough feedback or dialogue, like conversation coming from the game back to me to tell me what I'm doing wrong, then I can't get better, can I?
Exactly. It makes like a mystery learning curve. You guys were talking about how you're just mashing buttons and you're not certain if you're doing combos or not. Like that's definitely an issue with its feedback and its conveyance. And I think that's like the main issue I have to take up with this. That really hurts the combat system for me as a whole.
Yeah, because like, and the people who did get the perfect S ranking and are doing the no-hit kill runs, they've spent enough time with this game to learn its kind of bullshit stuff that you have to just, I guess, figure out by trial and error. And like so the game does have a skill, and that skill is learnable. But yeah, another good word you use there, conveyance. That is not conveyed in the gameplay strong enough for any of us to, we all spent 10 hours with this game and we still don't really understand the combat. And so does this game really convey its combat very well to the novice user? I would say no, since we played it for 10 hours and most of us still don't understand how the combat works.
Yep, I would totally agree. Trice, you got anything on that?
Yeah, I mean, I do think there was a feedback issue. There was also the issue with not knowing when you're using combos. I think the game prevents you from using combos quite a bit because the enemies stagger you for like everything, and that's incredibly frustrating. So
oh yeah, dude, getting staggered by the enemies in the middle of like getting your ass whooped was just so fucking retarded.
I think a big part of it, like when I talk about like responsiveness, is I feel that I'm locked into animations pretty often, and like that leads to me like taking hits or not being able to parry or getting stun locked or whatever, and that can be very frustrating.
I know, by the way, and someone's probably going to say this, I know you can animation cancel with the sword mode. I don't like cheesing animation cancels in games. I don't think that should be a part of your combat system, like out of the box.
Like having to use an exploit to get around something that's essentially a design issue.
Yes. Yeah, that bothers me significantly when I play a game and I have to learn some very complex way of getting around some quality of life issue in a game.
How does animation canceling work?
You just tap the sword view button and it'll cancel something like 75% of the animations in the game.
Dude, we need to get friend of the channel Tom in here. He said it's not cheese. Lots of these Japanese action games are designed around anim cancels. Maybe Tom can explain to us the Bayonetta genre.
I mean
that we're not understanding.
I mean that's fine that they design around that, but then make it an actual button. Or tell somebody that. They don't tell you that. You have to figure it out.
Yeah, it's not communicated at all. Like, how the fuck would I know that?
It's also a logical fallacy. Like, this is basically like an appeal to like tradition. It's like, oh well, like Japanese games have like always had this problem, so it's not a problem. It's like that's not
right.
That's not a good argument.
Right. Like, you know, when I play I fucking hate on Nintendo all the time. But the thing I got to say about Mario Odyssey and like all the Nintendo games is they tell you, like, if there's a hard part, you know exactly what you need to do. And the game gives you a breadcrumb or a scrap to let you know what you need to do better, because Nintendo games are like impeccably designed. And that is a bad design principle to say, oh, you just need to fuck around and like make mistakes until you figure out how to do it right. You know, the game has to convey it to me that I've done something wrong and what I can do to do better.
Yeah, Tom is saying they assume you've played thousands of beam up arcade games.
Dude, I actually have played Streets of Rage, Golden Axe. My entire childhood was playing beat 'em up games.
Yeah, but they shouldn't be assuming that. I mean, that's like assuming somebody. It's like assuming somebody that knows that they should stop at a four-way stop.
Substituting an assumption for proper conveyance is not good design.
No.
Yeah. Dude, I love this is nothing like a beat 'em up game. I fucking love old Sega Genesis beat 'em up games.
Streets of Rage 1, like that shit's amazing.
Dude, you guys want to play Turtles with me sometime? The Ninja Turtles game? That's one of the most fun beat 'em up games.
Which one? Hyperstone Heist or Turtles in Time?
No, neither of those. It's the new one.
Sega Genesis versus the SNES one.
Splintered Fate.
I don't think I'm even aware of that.
Wait, no, that's a roguelike.
Yeah, it is, but it's also a beat 'em up game. It's really fun.
It's multiplayer.
Yeah. It's 4-player.
Yeah, my nephew is playing the Shredder's Revenge. It looks pretty fun. It's definitely like an old school Turtles beat 'em up.
Yeah, and you can play like Casey Jones and Metalhead if you want to in that game too. So, you know, there's other characters to choose from.
Beaten Cheeks wants us to play Fortnite. Dude, there's no shot I'm carrying these dudes in Fortnite. Like, let's not do that.
Oh god, there's no. You would have to literally. You would have to tie my hands to a keyboard and mouse to get me to play Fortnite.
Dude, Sneed, you play Fortnite? Yuck! I'm gonna wash my hands.
Not in a long time.
God, I fucking hate Fortnite. PUBG, that's a real man's battle royale right there.
I don't.
Fortnite is better than PUBG. I'm just gonna be honest,
dude. Fortnite copied PUBG.
It made the battle royale genre better.
Gross. You just said Fortnite made the battle royale genre better, dude. What
compared to PUBG?
Yeah, with you?
Yeah, dude, PUBG is so clunky.
The base masculine military game was made better by the gay ass troon Fortnite game.
Fortnite's base design is good. That's why it got so popular.
Dude, this is why you're mixed up. Sneed, because you're like, oh yeah, I like the based military stuff. Like, PUBG is the based military game. Fortnite is for gay clowns.
Someone in chat's defending H1Z1. Let's not go that far. Let's be real.
I mean, have you guys ever played Super People? It's fantastic battle royale, really, by the same people who made PUBG. It's worse in every single way.
You're being sarcastic. It's not a good game.
Yeah, okay. No, it's worse in every single way, except it also had superpowers. So if you want a game that's built exactly on the PUBG engine, but runs worse, the cars drive worse, everything is worse, and you have superpowers, it's the game for you.
Okay, here's why Fortnite's fucking gay. Because you can build whatever environment you want, whereas in PUBG, as a base masculine man, you have to adapt to the environment. You cannot change the environment in PUBG. You have to use your military tactics to use the terrain. Whereas in Fortnite, you can just change the terrain.
Didn't they take the building mode out for like 5 years?
Exactly. Yep. This is where Andy fucked up. They have zero build in Fortnite, and it's the best mode.
Oh, okay. That's a mode, that they added later as they copied PUBG. But I'm saying Fortnite. most people still play Fortnite with builds, don't they?
No, I don't know.
No, I think zero build is more popular.
Dude, any game that looks like Fortnite is gay. Just from an aesthetic Kino point of view, it's not.
It definitely has the lefty cartoon art style. But here's the thing: when the game came out, it hadn't become so ubiquitous in their terrible games. So I give it a pass on that. What I don't give it a pass on is like the hot dog costumes and the dumb guns and all that stuff. Like it's just not a game I want to play.
Dude, if you want proof that Tom is a Zoomer, he says you have to cuck to the environment, meaning he is a Fortnite Zoomer. And he's like, I can't deny I love my Fortnite. Like, dude, come on. Play a man's game.
I mean, dude, I've played like 10,000 hours of Rocket League. So I'm not gonna
play Modern Warfare 4 DMZ. Battle Royale's gay now. It's all about extraction.
Yes, play the Activision slop microtransaction game.
I mean, I'm very grateful that I wasn't homosexual enough to buy Arc Raiders. I was saved from
dude. There's nothing gay in Arc Raiders. You guys should play it. It's an amazing
they ruined
game.
the game. They gayed it up because
it's not gay at all.
The PvE cucks complained, and now you can't even be like a rat piece of shit anymore. That's like the whole appeal.
Wait, did they? Hang on, they took out PvP?
They have a PvE only mode.
Oh, I don't give a shit. I can still rat out
maybe
PvP.
They don't have that, but they did like the matchmaking thing, right? Where it's like, dude, the people who kill a lot of people get matched with other people who kill a lot of people.
Dude, I have never been called more obscenities than I have in Arc Raiders, and to me, that makes it game based. I got called all kinds of obscenities in Arc Raiders.
I will tell you this, dude. Extraction shooters need skill based matchmaking because if they don't, the players just quit and the game dies. You cannot, people will not just be a punching bag over and over again for like months. That sounds
like a low skill player cope to me.
It is. It is. They leave. They'll go play something else. I'm telling you that all extraction shooters fail because they can't figure this out. Like you cannot have people getting their ass handed to them and losing all their gear over and over and over again.
It's true.
That's why it is a dying genre. Like no game survives long term.
Dude, Tom said, do you remember when they had a George Floyd museum in Fortnite?
No, fuck no. I wasn't playing that game at that point. That's cringe as fuck though.
Dude, does anyone have footage of that? I would love to see that. That's so hilarious.
I know they did a who's that popular black rapper? They did an in-game concert with
like Travis Scott, right?
Yeah, Travis Scott. There was an in-game Travis Scott concert. So gay.
Does the new Odyssey movie have like a rap song in it?
Yes.
In the credits.
Oh my gosh.
As far as I understand. Yeah, I heard a couple of reviewers say the movie was incredibly boring. I don't know if that's true or not, but
no, the Rosa Parks Museum thing that was in Minecraft. That wasn't in Fortnite.
I was never a Nolan simp though, so I'm not surprised that he would make a really boring epic.
Yeah. Dark Knight was good, but I guess he was gay after all.
The Batman movies were fine, but you know, like Inception, for instance.
Dude. The Batman movies were awesome.
They were fine. They were good movies. They were fine. Look, I'm not the kind of person who gives like overly ecstatic reviews of things generally. So yeah. Fine for me is good.
Fine is excellent.
Yeah, dude, it's because I'm from the Northeast. I don't know what happened. They suck your soul out when you're born
New England.
Yeah, well, no, I'm not from there. I'm from the Mid Atlantic, but it's the same difference, really. They suck your soul out a little bit. But the like Inception, for instance, that was a gimmick movie. I watched it the first time. I was like, oh, this movie's really cool. Then I watched it a second time and I was like, this movie kind of sucks, actually, once you get past the gimmick.
We lost the Nolan bros. It's lost
incredibly boring.
All the Nolan bros just like left the podcast. They're done with us.
Can't give Trice shit to review. Hey, Cheeks, what do you want me to say? You want what? You want me to just suck up to you? You want me to eat your shit or something? I'm not gonna do it. I'm not Homelander.
All right, guys. Well, I think we've said everything about this game we want to say. Next, 2 weeks from now. So the new schedule going forward is every Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern. We're going to have some kind of content, whether it's a live stream of a game that we're talking about or a live stream of something else. Every Tuesday at 10, we're going to do something. And 2 weeks from today, we're going to do Halo Combat Evolved, and that's Sneed's game.
Absolutely. It's going to be a good time. Lots of glazing. I mean, Trice is going to call it fine, I guess.
Yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
But there's some criticisms for Halo 1, as much as I love that game. So I'll save it for that.
Yep. Cheek said 10 p.m. N-word, make it earlier. Dude, you know you're staying up late, jacking off, watching Andrew, what's his name?
Andrew Tate.
No, not Andrew Tate. Who's the other Andrew who does all the base debates?
Andrew Wilson.
Andrew Wilson.
Dude, you're staying up. You're definitely staying up till 10 watching Andrew Wilson debates, bro. Calm down. All right, guys, we're going to get out of here. Thanks for coming, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
It's been fun.